Friend, one of the most fun times I've had in my life as a parent, son that played football in high school and college, one that played lacrosse in both, a rower. By the way, for the females listening into the show, is that after football, the next most scholarships in major colleges, Division II also offers scholarships, is in women's rowing. Just a little note for you there, okay? And a volleyball player. But now I've got a baseball player, and I mentioned this last, which I should not have, and this gentleman's going to reiterate and add to what I just said, because I have so much bursting at the seams, a couple of guys that I'm going to be talking to, because when you talk high school baseball, I love going to high school baseball games. I got to try to get to 2 or 3 a week. But it's one of those sports that the stands will be filled, not just with fans, but family and parents too. But it doesn't get enough press. It doesn't get enough pub. Like right now, most sports in general are not getting enough press and pub in high school. I mean, there'd be pages and pages, or whether it's on the internet or hard print about high school football. But let's talk some high school baseball. We're going to do that now with Nate Fletcher. He's a junior at Aurora. Nate, I'm looking at you. You sure we're not talking basketball, right? How tall are you? 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
I like that. So the little big unit, right?
Yep.
And you're a lefty too.
Yep.
Very good. Now I'm going to ask you something from the get-go. Is that I was told, and my oldest son who played football, when they were real little, about keep putting stuff in his left hand, keep putting stuff in your left hand. And the doctor said that has nothing to do with it. But I'm going to ask your dad, Matt, were you putting stuff in his left hand to turn him into a lefty?
Oh, for sure. I do that too.
That's a premium. That's a premium in a big way. How did you gravitate to baseball, Nate? I mean, it is my favorite game. It is my favorite sport, and it's still, people say soccer's a beautiful game, and if I'm offending anybody, then so be it. 'Cause it's not. Baseball's a beautiful game. Okay, how did you gravitate toward it?
Basically, my whole mom side of my family has been really into baseball. Both her brothers played college baseball.
Where'd they play?
They played at Mercyhurst, and then they both played at Mercyhurst, but were originally at Dayton and Kent State, and then transferred there. But I started off playing t-ball, and I usually batted lefty when I played in t-ball, and then I think it was middle of an at bat I switched to right-handed hitting.
Yeah, Munch. He got two. Listen to this. He got 2 strikes on him in an at bat, batting lefty.
Hopefully not in t-ball.
Oh, this is t-ball.
Wait, so he missed the ball twice.
Got frustrated, moved the other side. He's been hitting righty ever
Now
since.
hold on a second though. Has any coach said anything to you? Because by batting righty, what arm is exposed to the pitcher?
Mm-hmm. They've said that.
So I'm smarter than I look, aren't I?
Yep.
Oh, thank you. But no, have you gotten any flack because of that?
Yeah, last year during my high school season, my coach made me put on an arm guard to keep my left arm protected when I was batting righty. So.
And now they just don't let him bat. They just don't let him bat.
Well, I was going to ask you
pitching
that.
only.
In high school, it is strictly a DH. Now, can you bat if you wanted?
I mean, if we're up 10 runs, my coach will put me in, but usually never. So yeah.
When did you decide that pitching was it for you? Because you said early on you started playing t-ball and you kept moving up, playing the game. When did you think, what, I like this? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Some youngsters at an early age are intimidated. Because when you're towing a rubber, it's on you.
Yeah.
It's on you, really, more than anyone else.
I'd say it was 3 years ago. I wanted to focus on pitching because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And every time I threw, I didn't have any stress on me. I always felt like it was like a escape, I guess. So if I could do that constantly and just have that, it would just benefit me more than me hitting and worrying about all that other stuff. Then when I could be really good at something, focus on that and get the best out of that.
I have to ask you this. You're on the mound, you're towing a rubber, you are a team, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Balls hit to the ground, to the infield routine router. I mean, Jose Ramirez will blow 1 or 2 a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Double plays, the turn ball is dropped at first base, and Owen Miller's not even on your team. Okay, does it bother you? Do you just it's part of the game? You say that to yourself. It shouldn't be part of the game as the level gets higher, but unfortunately it is. How do you shake those things off?
I'd say it bothers me for that pitch, I guess, but when it comes back to being me going back on the mound, having to throw the next pitch, you gotta let it all go, because you can't worry about something and then have to focus on something else and expect to do good there.
have to hit you with this then. Conversely, you know what? You lay a fat one over the pit. Like, you know you shouldn't. You know what I mean? And it finds the gap, or maybe even goes over the fence. This and that. Do you feel the same way on you? That okay, I'm going to shake that one off and come back with a vengeance?
I mean, if it's a home run, maybe I'll think about it a little longer. But like, other than that, you gotta.
I mean, hits happen in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a good pitcher. You're facing good hitters.
Yeah.
They are going to drop hits down on you. Okay, let me ask you this. I'm up against you. I can't believe, if I was coaching myself as a young kid playing high school and just 1 year sandlots in my first year of college, I would have liked me on my team, okay? Because, I was I was confident but also cocky. I was the kind of guy catching. Did a few swung and misses. It was a hot day. As I threw the ball back to the pitcher, I say, hey, this is what it looks like, man, okay? And keep swinging because you're going to cool me off. What about the proverbial bat flips? You getting bat flips at your level either, whether it's with release or in high school?
Yeah. I mean, personally, I haven't seen a bat flip off me because, like, I don't know. I would not take that. But like, if there's a bat flip, I'm fine with it because it shows emotion in the game.
Very good.
But I don't know. At young ages for like little kids, I feel like you should just keep playing the game. You shouldn't have to show that much emotion, I guess, compared to if you're facing a kid throwing 95.
Keep cool, right? Keep
Yeah.
your cool, but don't let it out and harness it with a hit, or
Yeah.
harness it by going from first to third, or harness it by striking it out or throwing out a base stealer, right?
Yeah.
So many things are similar in so many sports. And I learned so much from the great Earl Bruce, a former Ohio State football coach. One of the things he said to me, and I know your mom and dad are here, is that, one day I wanted that kid, and I watched him on film, but I went out to dinner with him, and he was just too darn polite. I said, what's too darn polite, Earl? He goes, well, it's good to be a gentleman. He goes, but I could tell the kid was so much better than everybody growing up. The parents are like, no, you don't want to do that because you're going to show somebody up, you're going to hurt them. No, you know what? You're playing a game. Afterwards, you shake hands, but during the game, your job is to destroy them.
Yeah.
I mean, within the parameters of the game.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? There's
I love it.
sportsmanship, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying on that one, don't you?
Yeah, it's like there's a level between being respectful and like having fun and keeping your teammates alive and like the energy alive. So I'd say like trying to bring as much energy as you can, like no matter what it is you have to do, you just gotta be, there's a level of respect you gotta meet, but you can still show emotion and do a bunch of things.
If you're not pitching, you're in the dugout, or during innings, team's batting, this and that, you get lifted. Are you a cheerleader in the dugout?
For sure.
You got to be. You know that?
Yep.
You got to get their backs. Now, this gentleman with us today, Anthony Hodel, is with, and Anthony, you are with ASC Athletic Scholarship Corporation. So I take it you help young rising phenoms like this young man,
Yes.
Nate Fletcher,
Yes.
Get scholarships.
Yes. But I have to chime in on something real quick.
You may. Something you didn't like that I said?
No, just what you just said is very true about the aura, the leadership, your demeanor. I've dealt with some high-level clients that have come last minute, broke every record, two-time Mr. I'm not going to put him under the bus on the radio.
Right.
Two-time Mr. Ohio football player. Two-time. And dad says, I don't know what's going on. He's just not getting offers, and you're representing some kids that have less numbers but are getting all the offers that we were talking to those schools. And I said, your son, with all due respect, just doesn't have it yet. And as a former player, when I get in the huddle, just like when I deal with a coach, you want to go out there and really perform for somebody. I mean, I love this kid. I love this
Could
guy.
you teach him it?
Couldn't do it. You can't
Okay,
teach
so,
it.
so that was an
We
honest
don't offer
answer.
the it package.
You're not blowing smoke.
Right. And he did not believe me until he went through that process, and some coaches just said, look, he's just not at that point, maturation, and he really just can't run our program. And that's very important and translates to a pitcher. That's why pitchers get all the money. I deal with baseball players. Not all of them get full rides. Pitchers, it's hot. If you can, throw with control, you're going to get money.
Let's take this one step further. And Matt Fletcher, dad, extraordinaire, will agree with me. Pitchers are a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Left-handed pitchers are more of a commodity. Am I right?
Do I have to tell you that right now? He's sitting right here.
Yes. Wasn't it quarterbacks for a while? Put the
Yes.
ball in your hand and be a
Yes.
quarterback? No. I'm not going to get hit as hard. You know what I mean? Being a left-handed pitcher. Left-handed pitchers are special, aren't they?
Yep.
Interesting to know. We're talking to Nate Fletcher, junior at Aurora High School. We're talking to Anthony Hodel from the Athletic Scholarship Corporation. Nate's folks are in with us too, Mother Fletcher and Dad Matt. Gotta ask you this. Something else I need to know. When a team is out, you're not traveling across country yet too. How far do you travel with release? Because I can imagine what you're traveling with Aurora High School.
So there's multiple teams like I could play with during like the fall, but Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Oh, so you're
everywhere.
taking some time. You're away from family. You're with
Yeah.
the other players. You're with the coaches. This and that. Going back to Earl Bruce again, he said something else he always looked for was manners. I said, what do you mean by that, Coach? Because you're out with a kid, ready, lock, stock, and barrel, and we're having a nice meal, and he just wearing a brand new suit, took his sleeve and wiped his mouth off of it. And I said, Earl, what's your first thought of that? He goes, he's a disruption. I don't need it. Because I've got 3 like him. Nate, you ever think about that? For as good as you are and how rising quickly you are, I'm going to ask Anthony that one too. There's probably at least another 3 just like you. What will you do to stand out from them?
What would I do? I think, personally, I'm more respectful. I'm a very respectful kid.
I'm looking at Mom and Dad. Am I getting an agreement? Okay, cool.
I take things. There's a difference between having fun and seriousness, and you could find the middle between both of those. So I have a good idea on how to have fun, but also stay focused and keep control of the game. And also I'm like supportive, not just as a teammate, but of other people. So I think I'm just more like I'm a very well-rounded person. So
Munch, if I could jump in there
Please.
too. I mean, as a dad, just watching Nate, you can see with him, he doesn't have the highs and lows that I think a lot of kids have. He's got that, middle of the road. As pressure intensifies, I think his game even elevates. So I mean, just it's fun as a dad to watch that and to see how much fun he's having, and the team just rallies around him.
Anthony, and Anthony Hodel, of course, from the Athletic Scholarship Corporation. What Nate was just saying, are those important traits that you're looking for? The even keel. Sure, you have some ups. Sure, you have some downs. Now, I want to ask you this too. When you are, quote unquote, you're selling someone to a college, you're selling someone to a higher power at that time. But you also look for character to the point that, you know what? No, that guy's not going to stand to see some kid get bullied just because he's smaller or younger or something of that nature. Do you look for all those things when you are going to be? Because you're the man that's helping take this player to the next level with your corporation. What do you look for?
We actually got some lashback. I had contracts with several schools across the country, and we were giving Wonderlic tests, personality tests. And
Whoa. You don't ask kids if they enjoy pulling wings off butterflies, do you?
no.
Or squishing Japanese beetles. I did that all when I
No,
was
we
little kid.
trimmed
Did you,
it.
Fletch?
No, never.
Oh, you squish Japanese beetles and like things fly out. You know what I mean? It was like cool.
We trimmed it down, and the correlation of GPA and test results is super high. So if you get a high academic kid, which is very crucial in this process, they want to make sure you can make it through college. We forgot about that
It's not
part.
easy.
No.
No, like I said,
No.
don't laugh, I had a physics major son who played football at Denison.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went for his job interview with 80 people, they eliminated 79 immediately, saying, wait a minute, you had a 3.9 and you played football and you're a physics major and everybody else on the team is sports psychology or something
Yeah,
like
I had
that.
a Cornell-
They look for that.
Cornell running back called me in tears, had a close relationship with his family, and he said, this is tough. And, he was a 4-point plus kid, honors, high honors, all that good stuff. Then he gets to Cornell, and he's a 2.1, and the pressure, and, you go away from your family. This coach becomes your second father. And I've interviewed one of the best baseball coaches in college history, and one of the things he said that stuck out to this point today, almost 20 years later, is that I'm going to get it right 4 out of 10 times with a kid. And one of the things I look for is obviously the baseball IQ, but like you said, manners. Now they're looking at social media. It's one thing I told Mom, before you even know they're looking at you, and he knows who's looking because I share that, because I think the parents need to know what's the return on investment. I'm not selling a dream of hey, Nate, you're going to go play D1 baseball. I can't control that. You control that. You have to pitch. You have to stay out of trouble. You have to do all these, check every box. But the only thing I can do is get you in front with credibility and a history over the years of at least being 4 out of 10 right, if that makes sense. But my goal is to get money off the cost of college. And if it's leveraging academics or financial need or sports, whatever it is, college is expensive. I didn't get the free the
I
loan.
raised my hand.
Did
Out
you
of
get
my
any of that
four,
loan release?
I was lucky to have 3 in college at one time.
So you got it.
Tulane,
Down.
Denison, and Ohio State.
Oh,
So
Oh, those aren't cheap.
a lot of macaroni and cheese.
So, you know, parents that are listening, it's really about, you know, we're not going to make Nate any different than what he is. You know, can you check boxes? He's young. You start
We're going to
early.
fine tune him, though, right?
Right. We're going to work through this.
Polish him even more. 'Cause he's shining now. There's no doubt about it. I
Well,
like the
it's
smile.
48 hours. You know, it's still, paint isn't dry yet.
Question for you, Nate. And there's a lot of choices that coaches are going to have. Why should a coach choose you? Why should the school? Because when a coach is choosing you, it's more than him. The school's choosing you too. The team is choosing you. He's not going to bring, as we said, a disruption in. He's not going to bring somebody that, hey man, this guy's going to, give us, full complete games every time he goes out on the line. But yeah, nobody's going to like him. That kind of thing. Why should they choose you?
You can, if you were to call all my coaches, my teachers, basically anybody I've talked to, they tell you that I'm a respectful kid and will always push to be the best I can be. And I'm athletic, smart, I can do all that. So I think that's a plus onto being at their level of what they want you to be to go play at college.
I want to ask you this, and to me it's so important. And are you familiar with the movie Field of Dreams
Yep.
already? Fletch and Anthony, you may have been involved in this too, because there was a question one of the people asked me once, your best interviews ever. And Kevin Costner was one of them. Kevin Costner was one of the most down-to-earth guys I've ever spoke to. But he did test me on one. And he goes, we've been talking for 10 minutes. I usually don't give people that long because I got another 10 for you. But you're going to answer this question. Because the first 4 times I read the script of Field of Dreams, I threw it away. My agent said, why'd you do that? Who's going to believe this freaking story? Guys coming out of the cord, hearing voices and that. He goes, please read it again. He goes, do me a favor. Read these 3 pages and read them a couple times. And he goes, Munch, what hooked me on that movie? I said, it's simple. And I got teary-eyed because I thought about my youth. Hey, Dad, have a catch. Did you have some catches with your dad when you were little?
Yep.
That was key when you said when he was little. Because right now,
No, I went to
right now we
I
try
used
to
to
Like
catch.
86, 87.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
coming.
not getting the catcher's mitt on and they're squatting down with me
I
throwing
mean, this ball's got
fastballs.
so much movement on it, I can't even see it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Nate, if you have a goal, because, again, would you like to move on from college and play baseball at other levels?
Yep.
Very cool. It's good, man. Fulfill your dreams, fill your tank, I like to tell people. But when that's all done, it comes to a halt sometimes.
Yep.
Anything else pique your interest right now? I know you're young.
Yeah.
And I changed 3 or 4 times. Don't laugh under your dad. I went to law school. What am I doing? I talk, okay?
Well, that's what lawyers do.
I have no discernible skills. That's what I tell my kids always tell me. What about you? What piques your interest other than baseball?
I like architecture. It's like I like kind of like designing like cool like things, I guess, and also like sports medicine field and like chiropractic. I'd find that interesting.
So you got a good little, you got quite a bit of, leeway there to go
Yeah.
from architecture to sports medicine, not out of line. Anthony, I've got to ask you, is that I'm sure that you're available for people and available to meet people. Somebody gives you a call, do you go and meet with them, have them come meet with you? And are there times you have, like the 2-time Mr. Ohio times you have turned people down?
I didn't turn them down. We actually worked it through it.
You
But,
did? Okay, very good.
The goal was to leverage the academic side, get his foot in the door, and it worked out because they call it preferred walk on, and that's not really always the best deal. It's a kind of a polite good luck and
Yeah.
throw you the wolves.
Yeah.
But
You're paying your way to go to school.
right, and I'm not knocking these coaches. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars to win, and it's a performance based business. But we do a lot of stuff from Zoom. I have other associates that go through the process. We build custom websites, which you can see.
Oh, this is your website that I'm looking at?
Yeah, we designed that for Nate.
Very cool.
And
I mean, it's very catchy. I wasn't sure if it was going to look like something I put together. You know what I mean?
You're hired.
You're
hired. You're hired. But as far as anyone contacting or looking in the organization, it's athleticscholarshipcorp.com or 800-260-8434.
Hit us with those again.
I'm sorry?
Hit us with those again.
athleticscholarshipcorp.com or 800-260-8434.
Nate, let me ask you this. You're ranked one of the top 5 left-handed pitchers in Ohio.
Yep.
For 24. What's it going to take to be the top ranked in Ohio?
Just be better, I guess. Get as good as I can be, and that's it. That's all I can hope for.
Do you know the other ones? Do you know the other pitchers on that list?
I hope.
Are they pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are any of them seniors now? So you got another year to catch up with them?
100%.
I got to ask you this too. I'm a firm believer that inexcusable in any way, shape, or form to throw behind a batter's head. But I'm also a firm believer that the inside of the plate is yours. It's not the batter. Bob Gibson hit very few batters, but made a living. Bullet Bob, if you know that name, of taking people back off the plate. The legendary Indian at the time, Jim Butkack Grant, used to call it chin music. Do you feel that the inside of the plate is yours, and every once in a while there may be some collateral damage?
I feel everything's like mine when I throw, but I don't know, up and in, it's kind of like...
So I'm not an up and in man either, or behind the hedge, yeah.
Yeah, anything in that area is, I don't know, but anywhere around the plate, even if it's like a little up and in, especially if you're younger and you don't have as much control as like if you're junior, sophomore, and like that, if you don't have as much control, it's alright, but I like a lot of I like everything, so I'd be fine with.
You know, remember this, and I know Mom and your GF may disagree, but remember, baseball players, guys have butts for one reason. Dig it in. Am I right, Anthony?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty safe there, you know?
That hurts.
You used to hear Roger Clemens say that, I hit him in the butt. It's not, it's going to sting him, and that's it. And he's going to go to first base and take it from there. What pitches do you throw?
I throw 4-seam, 2-seam.
What has better movement for you?
For those fastballs?
Yeah.
2-seam.
Yeah, the 2-seamer?
Yep.
Are you twisting them at all?
Got a slider, got a 12-6 curveball, and then a cutter, and then we got a changeup. So we got a variety of pitches.
Is it? I know it's fun blowing people away. Your best against their best. But how much fun is it too that you're coming in with some heaters, maybe throwing a couple of 4-seams at a guy? Then I'll see you use the 12-6 on him, and they freak swing out of there. That's what I love. As much as I love to see Claus A, and even Karachek bring the heat. When they strike somebody out of the curveball, to me that's even prettier because the batter is clueless.
It's probably one of like the best feelings like you could possibly have when you're throwing is when you make them like, I forget, but it was last season. It was my first game of the summer, but I threw a curveball on an 0-2 count, and the guy was spinning around. A
corkscrew trying to spin.
So it just gives you a lot of confidence and showing like all your pitches are on today. And
how do you keep from smiling like a Cheshire Cat? Because I know you don't want to show them up.
Just keep on going, I guess. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything. Working different spots, just all that.
Try to stay level-headed on that. Anthony Hodel, another question for you. You do websites, you contact colleges.
Correct.
You contact coaches. So you have to have some good contacts.
Took a few years, first 3 years.
I can imagine. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it was really tough. And about the third year, I met Butch Davis at a combine we were running, and he said, "Your stuff's amazing because it's transparent, and it's tough to get the truth."
Where was Butch at the time? Was he North Carolina or was he out of?
Yeah, he was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And the Browns thing didn't work out too well. It's another show, but it's a lot of investment on our end before we even took any revenue from a client. We had to make sure we had a platform, and I guess that leads into Mom and Dad's comment, and I wanted to talk about that for a second.
Please.
Is a lot of parents think you just have this kid and they go play and the investment Matt and Mom. We talked about it. It's tremendous financially, emotionally, and even for Nate. If you guys can cover that for a second for listeners, because I think people have a false sense of hope that there's a lot of sweat equity in this, a lot of money, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think, I mean, like with Nate, he's been playing travel baseball since he's been 7 years old. So if you take, 7 through now, every year and just watching, I was a dad, but I was also a coach, but, up until 12 to where he was doing stuff that I didn't know about. But I mean, yeah, you see kids that they have the talent, they drop off. So, I mean, the parents are putting a lot of money into this program and into their kids with the hopes that, hey, they're having fun, first of all, but with the hopes that, potentially it'll help them get into school and continue doing what they love. So
we need a couple $100,000 back.
Yeah.
Just to break
exactly.
even, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for
honestly.
sure.
It's
4 years of college are they close to that, right?
Yeah, unless you get the forgiveness. If Biden hangs out, maybe you get lucky. But
Yeah, I mean, I joke
don't know.
around. I'm like, if I would have just saved all that money on all the travel baseball, I could have paid for your college.
So, and I'm not knocking travel because you have to play at that high level against high competition.
Travel baseball, just so people know this, nowadays, I've called some college volleyball games. There we go. Just don't mention their high school, mention their club.
Right.
This is tantamount. Basketball.
Yep.
Basketball, AAU is God even more so than high school these days.
Right.
So that's what travel is tantamount to that. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And, as parents are putting a lot of money on the table, you heard the travel schedule, and he's playing basically year-round between training and doing all that. So we get good video, and we put together a site 2 days ago. And you want to talk for a second maybe about just the connections? I know your video is like at 4K. There's about 500 schools. I mean, the data's there. But I would assume some of them are emailing, maybe calling you at this point. I think the Division Ones, just from my experience, they're really going to hold water. They're going to wait because this is a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to wait till maybe next year. Sometimes you may not hear from somebody. You'll see them on the board, but you go, why aren't they? So you got to relax and enjoy that process. Just keep having fun. But what's going on right now, just 48 hours, it's a real quick thing. I know your parents have been running all over the place.
Yep.
You get a couple colleges contacting you. How's that changed in the last 48?
In the last 48 hours, a lot of things have changed.
It's not a crime show, 48? Sorry.
I'd say, okay, so with my website, I looked at how many schools have viewed it. There's at least, I don't even know how many because I could not count them all, but there's a ton. And I've had coaches reach out to me over text and also email. And actually, I'm calling 2 colleges from this thing tomorrow. So, yeah, so I'm getting a lot of recognition from just that, and it's helping out a ton.
So I just want to, on record, just content for parents that are listening to this and have a son or daughter that wants to play in college. It is a long process. It's real exciting because it's 48 hours later and you kind of see there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but there's a long road. You got to watch what you do on social media. You have to watch who you hang out with, where the photo ops are. Everybody has a cell phone. So you have to really always behave.
I raised my hand again on that.
So, and I've seen some guys lose some bad last-minute deals over some crazy stuff. They're not going to make a mistake. They'd rather pass on you than take a shot.
Well, there's no doubt. And you mentioned the social media, too. And I'll never forget, we had talked earlier about dear departed friend who was always in my heart, Mike Trevisato.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling some of the younger guys in his business, I'd say just a few months before he passed away, he goes, everything changes so much. Thank golly I'm on the back 9.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind sharing with you all. I've signed my scorecard, baby. I'm headed to the 19th hole, okay?
Right.
I'm going to the bar afterwards. But, really, the social media, so intense. It's you can slip, and, you can delete that within seconds. Doesn't matter. Somebody's got a screenshot of it, or somebody saved it on down the line. So very, very important. Nate, I'm that college coach that you want to go to college. I got the green light from the president of university, the professors in the school that you want to go to. But sitting right next to you, phew. And you actually in the other room, I want to have you both together. There's somebody that, you guys are pretty much both the same, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you stand out from him?
I'm just better, I don't know, like a better person, I feel like, because I'm more respectful.
That's a tough question. I'm not put you on the
Yeah,
spot, but
it
you
is
may have to
tough.
answer someday soon.
Oh, he will.
Yep.
Okay, he will have to answer.
Yes.
You don't want to
respectful.
disparage the other guy too, though, right, Anthony?
Right.
You want to talk about your virtues,
Right.
who you are.
These coaches look for players they want to hang out with later in life. They have such a bond, and again, leading back to the Arizona coach, he said these are guys that I go to weddings, their children, their birthdays, and funerals, and I'm embedded, and those are the people that I want in my life later. So they're looking at all of that where we don't know, and these high school coaches and release baseball, they're so instrumental in this process because all we are is a marketer. I can shake hands with everybody. People are going to listen. They're going to say, hey, Anthony, thanks. He's seen the emails. Thanks for letting me know. And they're going to go through the funnel and their process. But ultimately, they're going to call his coaches. They're going to go through his guidance records. They're going to go through everything pretty deep. So they want somebody that they want to hang out after we're done with this. But when you're there, it's tough. I remember getting dropped off to college as a scholarship athlete. And
Where was this?
I said, you know what, I'd rather go to the military. I really felt that way.
Really?
Too. I said,
Because you were
know,
grilled that heavily.
it was brutal. And I shouldn't say this, but people will lie to you. You're the man, you're going to start. And you get there and you realize, I'm not the man. There's 3 deep.
Mark Munch Bishop with you, speaking to Nate Fletcher, speaking to Anthony Hodel and the Fletcher family. Nate, here's all I know. You sold me. If I was the coach of the school you wanted to go to, you're the guy I'm going to take, man. Nothing but the best. You, Anthony, nothing but the best. Your company, one more time, how to get a hold of you?
AthleticScholarshipCorp.com or 800-260-8434.
If people want to check out Nate, some videos of him, this, that, what's the website?
NathanMFletcher.com. And then, Munch, real quick, you talked about his pitches, but every once in a while he does let a person on base. His pickoff move is awesome. So.
Well, as a lefty, you better be, because you're looking right at him, right? Dude, I want you to look right, lock eyes, and say, "You're mine, sucker." Okay, that's what I want you to do.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Munch.
you know what, Mark Munch Bishop with you. I'm my 44th year of radio, and you can say, "Well, Munch, how old are you?" I started when I was 6. Okay, I was one of those child prodigies. But the bottom line is, you're as delightful as a young man I've ever spoken to, dude.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Munch.
Enjoying
Thank you,
myself here with Nate Fletcher and the good people, Anthony Hodel, and the family. Always family is important. Take care.
College sports is a big business, a multi-billion-dollar business. So how do high school athletes get noticed by college coaches? At Athletic Scholarship Corporation, we provide nationwide recruiting services and get scholarship offers for our clients.